Hello, class 12 students. Good morning, everyone. This is for maths. Okay, this video is for class 12 mathematics. In the last few videos, we studied the chapter relations and we started the chapter functions. In the function chapter, we studied basically the types of functions and we focus on bijective functions, that is one to one, onto. Okay, and then we did one more topic, that is inverse of a function. Now today in this video, especially in this video, you will not copy what is there now. What is written in the board right now, you will not copy. Because whatever we will do in this video is totally class 11 revision. Everything today in this video we will discuss. Everything is there in class 11 notebook. Okay, so I have it written nicely. But now remember the topic, if you remember this topic was there in the class 11 also. Range and domain of real value functions. Okay, so what is real value function? Y equals to something in terms of x, f of x. Real value function is this, x and y both belongs to real number. Now this topic exactly the same thing you did in class 11 also. Okay, so what I want from you guys is that open your class 11 notebook, copy on this topic, the whole theory in your class of notebook. You will not copy this one, okay? The whole theory what I have given you in class 11 notebook. Why I have written here? So that you remember, you can identify from the notebook where this topic is. Okay, we will solve the same questions what we did in class 11. The same questions I will solve again here just as a revision. Okay, you will copy whatever is there in class 11 notebook, that you will copy into class of notebook of class 12. I think I make it clear, okay? So here we will do a revision type because the same topic is there in class 12 and this topic is important, comes in class 12 boards. But we studied in detail everything in class 11. Each and everything, those questions which did in class 11, we will do it again now here. So this whole video will be a revision of class 11. Okay, so let's start the revision. Now what is domain? Domains are those values of x for which y is finite. Finite means defined. Okay, and range is those values of y for which x is finite, that means defined. That means, okay, that the y, I will get those values of x, okay, for which the y is not infinity or it is not imaginary. Imaginary means under root के अंदर negative term ना आए, okay, or infinity means denominator में 0 ना आए. These two things I will keep it in your mind and we will solve the questions. Okay. Now you understand what is real value functions? The question will also like this. Find the domain and range of the function. Function will be given to you. Okay. Now under this domain calculation, there are three types of questions you may face. Case 1, case 2, case 3. There are three types of questions. Okay. These things you will not write in your notebook. You will write everything what is there in class 11 notebook. Okay. Now first type of question is something by something. Something by something. Now you see, if denominator becomes 0, this becomes infinity. That means denominator cannot be 0. So y is defined when denominator, that is g of x, is not equals to 0. Solve it. From there you will get some x not equals to ab. So what is domain? R minus, that means if I substitute a here, this becomes 0. If I substitute b here, it becomes 0. But other than a and b, all terms give some y value. So r minus braces a comma b. That means the domain is all real numbers except these two numbers. Okay. Next, if you have a question like this, y equals to under root something. Now, this becomes not defined when this becomes negative. If it becomes negative, under root के अंदर negative terms imaginary हो जाते हैं, right? So under root के अंदर या तो 0 होगा या तो positive term होगा. Then only y is defined. So y is defined when fx greater than equals to 0. Whatever you got inside under root, that will be greater than equals to 0. Solve it, then you write domain. How to write domain? It's there in class 11 notebook. That's why I'm saying class 11, copy down. Don't copy this. If any student don't have, ask your friends. If you don't have, because you didn't attend the classes nicely, moreover you didn't copy also. So that's your problem. You have to copy. Then also if any students are not giving you, not helping you, please talk to me. I will talk to the students and give you the notes. Okay? Now next type is y के अंदर combination दोनों. Under root भी है, something by something भी है. Okay, so first case is that this whole thing should be greater than equals to 0. The whole thing should be positive, या तो 0, or नीचे वाला not equals to 0. If नीचे वाला, if the denominator becomes 0, this becomes infinity, not defined. If this whole thing is negative, then also it's not defined. So when it is defined, when the inside part, under root के inside part should be greater than equals to 0, and denominator gx should not be equals to 0. You have to solve both of them, you will get the answer. Similarly, for range calculation, what's your job is? Your job is first, y is given in terms of x, you have to convert x in terms of y. Okay, then again you will end up with case 1, case 2 and case 3, any one in your question. Okay, now what I will do for you guys is that we will do few questions, okay, few important questions, okay, that will help you to remember the class level concepts. So let's do some questions, and again one more very important part, whatever question I will do on the board, the same questions are there in your class level notebook also. Okay, let's do our simplest question. Find domain and range of real value function y equals to under root 9 minus x square. Okay, now see, this is which case? Case 2, under root के अंदर कुछ है. Okay, so under root के अंदर कुछ है. So domain calculation first step. Now under root के अंदर, if this term becomes negative, then this is undefined. That means this term should be greater than equals to 0. 0 होने से भी चलेगा, अंदर वाला समान, पॉजिटिव होने से भी चलेगा. That means y is defined when under root के अंदर वाला समान 9 minus x square greater than equals to 0. Now check out the calculation. If you forget class level, this x square will go this side. Okay, this square will convert into root. When the square is converted into root, we have plus minus 3. Now, when we have inequality with plus minus, when we take the plus side, inequality remains same. And when we take the minus sign, inequality reverses. See? Okay? So now, these two things you have to check in the number line. X is greater than or equals to minus 3. So we have point minus 3, we have point plus 3. Right? Point minus 3, plus 3. Okay? In the number line, first we have minus 3, then we get plus 3. Now, greater than or equals to minus 3, that means this side. And less than 3, this side. That means from here to here. And we have equals to also now. So, मैंने dark कर दिया. So, what is domain? These are real numbers. So, you have to show in brackets. पहले छोटा वाला लिखो, फिर बड़ा वाला लिखो. Minus 3, comma 3. Then minus 3 में close bracket. Why close bracket? Because it is equals to. 3 में again close bracket. Why close bracket? Because it is equals to. Okay, this is domain. Minus 3 to 3. Now comes to range calculation. Now range calculation, what your job is? First, y in terms of x is given. Y in terms of x is given. Your job is to convert x in terms of y. That means keeping x one side, rest other side. So first remove the root, taking square both sides. Okay, then I'm keeping the x one side, y that side. So x square this side, y this side. So now x is under root 9 minus y square. Okay, now again this is under which condition? Case 2, under root के अंदर है. So x is defined when under root के अंदर वाला समान 9 minus y square should be greater than equals to 0. Again solve it the same way. So we'll get y less than equals to 3 and y greater than equals to minus 3. Now here comes a twist. Listen very carefully. That means greater than minus 3 and 3. Greater than equals to minus 3 this side. Less than 3 this side. So this is the range. So range should be minus 3 to 3. Okay. But see what I have written. Y. Now see nicely. What are range? Range are whatever you got the domain values. If you substitute here in the place of x, whatever you will get, that is your range. That is your y value. So after the range calculations, you have to always cross check in every question. Domain there is no tension, but in range there is a tension. The tension is that after the calculation what you got here, and is this answers satisfying substituting the domain? If you substitute the domains here, are we getting this range? That we need to cross check only in range calculations in every question. Okay, these things are discussed in class 11 too. Okay, so let's see. When you substitute minus 3 here, it will become 0. When you substitute 3 here, it will become 0. And when you substitute anything in between, this thing will always come in positive. Now, अब एक मामला आएगा कि ये तो रूट है, रूट होता है तो अपने आप प्लस माइनस आता है. अब कान फाड़ के सुनना. When a square term is converted into root, for example, the question was like this. Now it is converting into root. If a square term is converting into root, then we have plus minus. If we already have a root, that answer is always positive. It cannot be negative. Okay, so see here. The square term was converting into root, that's why we have plus minus. Square term was converting into root, that's why we have plus minus. But in the question we already have a root here. That means this answer should be always positive. So minus 3 to 3. From 0 to minus, if I go this side, these all values are negative. That means y cannot be negative. Since y cannot be negative, that means answer कहाँ से कहाँ होगा? 0 से 3 तक होगा. So therefore, y is less than equals to 3 and greater than equals to 0. That means range is 0 to 3. 0 to 3. पहले छोटा वाला, फिर बड़ा वाला. Now 0, we will take 0 because equals to 0 आ रहा है answer. So close bracket. 3 also we are getting close bracket. Okay? Are you getting me, class? So 3 also we will get close bracket, not open bracket. So why not open bracket? Why close bracket? You understand? Okay, so whenever we have a range calculation, whatever you got after calculation, you always have to check that value with the domain substitution. Okay, so why we are not taking negative values? Because the root is already there, it cannot be negative. It will be always positive. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Okay, now see the next question. Question number 2. Find domain and range of real value function y equals to x square by x square plus 1. This question again is there in your class 1 notebook of class 11. Okay, so now see, there are two types of question are there. One is x square by x square plus 1, which is there, I am doing in the board. Another is x square by x square minus 1, which is there in your class 11 notebook. This you will do on your own. Okay, now the difference in both the sums is what? Now see here. Solution start from y equals to x square by x square plus 1. Domain calculation. This is which case? Case what? Case 1, something by something. So we need to see नीचे वाला 0 होगा, कौन values के लिए 0 होगा. Now see what is x? X, this is a real value function. That means x is real number. Real number can be negative also. So if I substitute a negative value in the place of x, only see the denominator, okay? In the place of x, you substitute negative value because positive. As well as we have positive here. That means this term can never be 0. हाँ, अगर यहाँ पे माइनस होता, ओके, अगर मैं यहाँ पे -1 पुट करता तो -1 becomes positive, fine. But we have -1, minus here, तो 1 minus 1 0 आ जाएगा ना. So chances of coming 0 exist. But since we have a plus here, so we have x square also, we have plus 1 also. But if you have x plus 1, प्लस मैटर नहीं कर रहा, दोनों साथ में होना चाहिए. बोथ शुड कम टुगेदर. प्लस आल्सो शुड बी देयर, स्क्वायर शुड आल्सो बी देयर. Then only this cannot be 0. If you have x plus 1, so in the place of x you substitute -1 plus 1, this becomes 0. Okay, are you getting me? So if you have x square minus 1, then also in the place of x you substitute -1, 1, anything, this will come 0. So because of plus as well as x square, this term, the denominator can never be 0. Okay, that means there is no x value when this denominator will be 0. That means y is always defined. Y ka value always something you will get. Okay, understand? So why? Because we have plus square also as well as plus also. The square will help the negative term becomes positive, and this plus will already become positive. So that's I written here. For all values of x belongs to natural number. Okay, कोई भी x का value डालो, natural real number, sorry, not natural number. All values of x belongs to real number. Any value substitute here. Okay, this term will be always positive. This term can never be 0. Therefore, y is defined. So for all values of x, y is defined. What does that mean? Y will always will get some values here. Okay, so whatever you substitute x, that means what is domain? Domains are values of x for which y is defined. So we can substitute any value of x. That means the whole real number r. Okay, so domain is the whole real number r. Understand? Now comes to range calculation. Now for range calculation, what's your job is? Y in terms of x given and y in terms of x given. Your job is to convert x in terms of y. Okay, now see here. At this point, I want to discuss something which is there in the class level. At this point, there are danger questions. What is danger question? How to understand some questions are dangerous? What are the dangers? Now see, here x type is same, x square. You may have like this also. Here also type is same, xx. But there are some danger questions like this, where the type of x are not same. One has a power 1, another has a power 2. In these questions, you have to go for quadratic equation. Go to class 11. We'll do after this question. But you need to understand when to go for quadratic equations, okay? Because here we need to convert x in terms of y. Here, in this case, if you multiply all those things. Now see, in these two terms, x square coming out common. So it's very easy to segregate x. Then 1 by 1 minus y will go downward, under root. Here also, x into y plus y equals to x. Again, in these two terms, x will come out common. But in this, y x square minus 1 equals to x. Are we getting x common? Not possible. मैं इसको ना अलग से x नहीं लगा सकता. I cannot take x separately here. Like here we got x separately, x square अलग से, y अलग हो गया. Here also we can shift x one separately, y separately. But here, when we have different types of x, one is power 1, another is power 2. In these questions, these are called danger questions. Okay, you have marked in a notebook also in class 11 named as danger questions, where you have to do something special, which we try to forget in class, like during the examination time. So these questions you need to practice separately. Okay, so let's go for this one. Since both are same type of x, power 2, so it's easy to segregate. So we got x in terms of y. Now this belongs to which case? Third case. Root bhi hai or something by something bhi hai. Now see, that means this whole thing should be greater than equal to 0, as well as the denominator should not be 0. So x is defined when this whole thing greater than equal to 0, positive आना चाहिए, साथ में साथ denominator 1 minus y not equal to 0 आना चाहिए. So if we solve this, 1 will go that side. Okay, so minus will cancel out. Y not equals to 1. One case we got. Now how to solve this one? Again, for solving this one, we should be very clear with class 11 inequalities. Now, solving y by 1 minus y greater than equals to 0. In these cases, in class 11, I told you we cannot shift this time. So whenever we have numerator by denominator case, your job is to make the denominator whole square. Okay, so how to make the denominator whole square? 1 minus y ऊपर नीचे multiply कर दिया. So denominator you got whole square now. Okay, now what is the thinking process for this step? Something by something greater than equals to 0. That means positive आना चाहिए. Something by something positive आना चाहिए. ये कब आएगा? या तो दोनों positive होगा या तो दोनों negative होगा. If both numerator and denominator are positive, then the whole is positive. If both are negative, then the whole thing is negative. Now see. So something by something is positive. You already proved why I did whole square niche. Because since whole square is there, that means this is always positive. So you already proved that since niche wala, in this way I used to teach in class 11 also. Since the denominator is positive, this implies मैंने prove कर दिया नीचे वाला positive. That means we left with only one option. We cannot have this because नीचे वाला positive है. हाँ, अगर नीचे वाला negative होता, then we can say ऊपर वाला negative है. But we already know नीचे whole square, in the denominator we have whole square. That means the denominator is always positive, greater than 0, not equals to 1. Denominator cannot be equals to 0, greater than 0. This implies the numerator will be also greater than equals to 0. Okay, we understand? Denominator is positive, greater than 0 is positive. That means the numerator will also positive and equals to y because we have equals to here. But denominator cannot be equals to 0. अगर हो जाएगा तो infinity हो जाएगा नहीं. Okay class, now how to solve after this? This is all class 11. Huh? You make one term 0, y equals to 0, 1 minus y equals to 0. So if you solve it, here you got y equals to 0, write down. You solve this, you got y equals to 1, write down. Okay, so we got 0 and 1, then you make layer, waves, draw waves like this. Okay, then what's your job? Take any number less than 0 and substitute here and see what sign you are getting. If you take less than 0, take minus 1. So if you put minus 1 here, y into 1 minus y, put minus 1. 1 minus of minus 1. How much you getting? Minus 1, 2. Negative, so I am writing negative here. Okay, you don't have to show these things. Then you take any value between 0 and 1. Take 0.5. Take 0.5 here. 0.5, 1 minus 0.5. Positive, positive, become positive. Take any value greater than 1. Let's take 2. 2, 1 minus 2, negative. Negative into positive, negative. Okay. Now, what we have here, greater than equals to 0. That means we have to take out of these three sides positive case. Why? Because we are dealing with positive. So here we have positive greater than equals to 0. That means we check the positive one. The positive one start from 0, go to 1. and we have equals to here. So therefore y is greater than equals to 0, less than equals to 1. Clear? From here what we understand, y will be greater than equals to 0, less than equals to 1. These y values are what? Range. Now see, we got two situations. One here, greater than equals to 0, less than equals to 1. Here, not equals to 1. So now there is a contradiction. In one condition we are getting 1 nahi hona chahiye. In the other condition we are getting 1 hona chahiye. So now we will cross check in rough. These all are rough, huh? Ki equals to 1 lene se kya hoga? So in this, you substitute y equals to 1. 1 x square by x square plus 1. Solve it. See, x square cancelling out. That is not defined. That I have written in question you have tried like this. Since for y equals to 1, we calculated in rough, x not defined. Okay? So since why we need to check this? Because we are facing a contradiction. एक बार 1 नहीं आ रहा है, एक बार 1 आ रहा है. So let's cross check. Go to the basics. Let's put y equals to 1. Let's see whether we getting any x values or not. Okay? यहाँ पे जो y equals to 1 डाल के अगर कुछ x आया, whatever you will get x, that x must be inside the domain. If it is inside the domain, then we will say yes, y 1 hoga. If it is not inside the domain, sometimes x is not coming only, cancelling out. तो नहीं होगा. Sometimes we are getting x, but that is not inside the domain. Then also y will नहीं होगा. Okay, y will not be happening equals to 1. Clear? Understand? So whenever you get this type of contradiction, you have to clear like this. So these all are rough work. So now this rough work, how to write in mathematics, we write like this. Since for y equals to 1, x not defined. That means this condition will change now. Y greater than equals to 0, less than 1, not equals to 1, less than 1. Okay, out of 0, 1, which one is छोटा है? 0 इधर, 1. पहले छोटा वाला. First you have to write the smaller number, then you write the bigger number. Now for 0 it is equals to close bracket. For 1 it is not equals to open bracket. So this is the range. Okay, now we will go to the next question, the danger one. Okay, the next question, question number 3. Find domain and range of real value function y equals to x by x square minus 1. Now see danger. Power of x, here 1, here x square. Different types of x here. Okay. So this thing will create problem in range calculation. So let's talk about the range calculation later on after some time. First we will do domain. Y equals to x square by x square minus 1. Now see. In the previous case it was x square plus 1. So square and plus helping us that term was never 0. X square plus 1 can never be 0. But it is x square minus 1. This term can be 0. So we need to show the domain calculation. Domain calculation. Y is defined when this term not equals to 0. So we have to write these things now. In the previous case, we have written what? For all values of x, y is defined. Why? Because it is x square plus 1. It can never be 0 in those cases. But this can be 0. So we will check for which values this is coming as 0. So y is defined when x square minus 1 not equals to 0. नीचे वाला 0 नहीं होना चाहिए. From there, solve it. 1 will go that side. X square will go that side, becomes root. Since square is converting into root, becomes plus minus 1. That means, if I substitute 1 here, this becomes 0. If I substitute minus 1 here, this becomes 0. That means, other than plus 1 and minus 1, if I can substitute any values here. Okay, so what is domain? All real numbers minus 1 and minus 1. Now, here a student made mistake. See here, they write like this. Now, what is the difference here? They cannot use these brackets. If they use this bracket, if you use this bracket, difference is what? If I take minus 1 and 1, if I use this bracket, that means I am talking about all the values between them. That means I am talking about 0.9 also, 0.5 also, all the values. But do we got all the values here? No. Only for 1 and only for minus 1, this is 0. For 0.9, this won't be 0. For 0.5, this won't be 0. So we have to use basis 1, minus 1. Am I clear? You cannot use that bracket. So this mistake is, keep it in your mind that you cannot write that way. Okay? You cannot write third brackets here. Okay? Now comes to range calculation. For range calculation, you have to convert x in terms of y. For that, here you will face problem. Y will face problem because the powers of x are different. We cannot take out common. So y equals to x by x square minus 1. Multiply करो. Now see, यहाँ पे x square है, यहाँ पे x है. Can we take out common? So we are shifting this one side. Now can we take out common here? No, x square x. Common नहीं आएगा. Common आएगा तो x will come out common. But we cannot segregate x in one side, y in other side. Okay, so here now this is a quadratic equation. Now we have to take the help of a quadratic equation. Now this a, this will consider as ax square plus bx. B is minus 1. X plus c is minus y. Okay, so comparing, we got a is y, b is minus 1, c is minus y. Now we can find x using discriminant formula. Minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a. What is b? B is minus 1. Minus into minus plus 1 plus minus b square minus 1 whole square is 1 plus 4ac. A is what? Y. A is what? Y. C is what? Minus y. So minus 1 is plus 4y square. Now we got x in terms of y. Okay class, we got x in terms of y. Now what's the next job? Now see which form? Something by something, as well as inside root we got something. That is third type. So x is defined when x कब defined होगा? When the denominator will not be equals to 0, y not equals to 0, and inside root part the thing should be greater than equals to 0. Okay, now see, this term, it is plus and whole square. So you substitute any value of y. What is y? These are real value functions. Y is real number. It can be positive, it can be negative. If you substitute a negative value also here, this becomes positive and we have a plus here. That means this whole thing will be always positive. So for any y belongs to real number, this is always greater than equals to 0. That means you can ignore this part. Nothing. Now, the same type of question we have, which you have to study, which you have to do on your own, x by x square plus 1. This is your homework. In these cases, you will get here minus 4y square. Okay, when you get minus 4y square, then you have to solve, because we have minus, chances of negative aane ka chances hai, then you have to solve this. Okay, understand? So now we left with, in this question we left with only this, y not equals to 0. So only 0 nahi hoga. That means what is range? All real number minus 0. Okay, not equals to 0 ko aise likhte hain na? All real numbers, but we cannot take 0. That is the range. Understood class? So this is your homework. X by x square plus 1. Okay, I am saying you what you will get. 1 minus 4y square greater than equals to 0 aega and y not equals to 0 aega. Okay, rest everything will remain same. X square plus 1 domain is the real number. You can do it. If you cannot do it, go to the class 11 notebook. This question is there. So how to solve this? This will come like this. 4y square. 1 by 4 greater than equals to y square. That is plus minus 1 by 2 greater than equals to y. Now, when we take plus 2, it will come like this. And when we take minus 2, the inequality will change. So what is got? Minus half and half. Greater than minus half, that is this side. Less than minus half, that is this side. That is minus half to half lena padega. But from minus half to half, we got 0 also. But we cannot take 0. So what is range? Range will be minus half to half. Okay, minus half, close bracket because it is equals to half, close bracket because it equals to. But between minus half and half, we have 0. So here is saying not equals to 0. So let's check whether not equals to 0 hoga ki nahi hoga. So for that we need to check in rough. Okay, let y equals to 0 le leta hu. We substitute 0 here. X by x square plus 1. Okay, x by x square plus 1. So if you solve it, you get x equals to 0. X equals to 0 belongs to domain. क्योंकि इसका domain क्या होगा? इसका domain पूरा real number होगा. Because this plus ना, it can never be 0. That means x 0 आ रहा है. X is domain coming when y am taking 0. For y equals to 0, I am getting x 0 domain. That means y 0 होगा. That means this is the answer. Okay, in some books they make a mistake, they write like this. Now this is wrong. Minus 0 nahi hoga. But if I say minus 0, that means range cannot be 0. Range means y cannot be 0. But what we proved? That for y equals to 0, we are getting x equals to 0. And 0 is a domain. That means for 0 domain, y range 0 is coming. That means y 0 hoga. Okay, that means y is from minus half to half. Understood class? Clear? Okay, this is the end of this video and the revision class is over. Okay, but it is a very important part. So please don't ignore it. Questions you will face in your boards. Okay, thank you very much.